Hello and welcome to the Morningstar series, Ask the Expert. I'm Emma Wall, and joining me today is Morningstar fund analyst Fatima Khizou to talk about sustainable investing. Hi Fatima.
Hi Emma.
So kicking us off today is the news that Fundsmith is launching a sustainable equity fund which will embody ESG considerations in its stock selection, but it'll also screen out of certain sectors, including casinos, gas companies, pawn tobacco and brewers, which means some of the stalwart stocks in Fundsmith equity, such as Philip Morris, Imperial Brands and Diageo, will not be there. This is an institutional fund, so it's not for our readers, but it does signify the growing interest in sustainable investing, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Certainly. We've seen a surge in terms of demand from investors for sustainable investment, and looking at the assets over the last 5 years, we've seen a significant increase in terms of assets dedicated to this type of investments. And while historically it's been mostly on the institutional side, we've seen that there has been a significant rise in terms of assets that are dedicated to retail side segment. For example, in terms of the overall assets, a retail side represented in 2012 about 10% of that, and in 2016 is 25%. So there's been increasing interest from a retail side as well.
And investors want to incorporate ESG factors into their fund selection. For those that do, we do have a Morningstar sustainability rating, don't we, which can help people pick funds that score above average on ESG ratings.
Yeah, we do. And our sustainability rating is a holding base, so it will provide investor for any type of fund, whether it's tagged as socially conscious or not. How those funds, how those companies that fund manager invested score well in terms of the ESG. And so the investor can use this further metric to spot a good fund if he has an interest in ESG consideration. We've seen an increased interest, or we've seen from fund manager that there are more and more taking into account those factors as well. And some of them have been already taken into account those, but they've made more efforts to express them so that investor knows about them. So our sustainability rating will tell you whether a fund scores well on those metrics or not, and you can actually spot funds that are actually not socially conscious, but actually because of the approach taken by the fund manager, those companies score really well. And you can spot similar characteristics of those funds. They tend usually to look for high quality companies with high barrier to entries, so a very hard business model to replicate, but also with cash flow generation, high margin. So most of those funds that score very well tend to have similar characteristics.
And what about a couple of funds which do score highly on ESG factors that also have an analyst rating? Perhaps you could highlight a couple for us.
Yeah, sure. Actually, the Fundsmith Global Equity Fund that we rate gold scores quite well on those metrics. It scores above average, which is what you call 4 globes as well. And there is also 2 silver rated among our global universe that we rate, which are the BNY Mellon Long-Term Global Equity Fund, scores above average, and also the MFS Global Equity Funds, which actually scores very high, so 5 globes.
Fatima, thank you very much.
Thank you, Emma.
This is Emma Wall from Morningstar. Thank you for watching.